Phillips joining us.
Look at
I see you.
Yeah, he said he can give us 10 minutes before he heads over to dinner. So I'm feeling the gray in the beard. You know what I'm saying? You got a little very distinguished. You didn't put that gray in there, did you? For the distinguishedness.
You know, the one thing about it, time has a way of just showing you the truth.
Oh, that's what it is?
I used to dye it black. I actually
you
dyed
were
it black for a while. But I was
for real?
I'm just going to embrace it.
Yeah.
This is what's going to happen. This is happening.
So Dwight's in Lausanne right now, ladies and gentlemen. Perennial world champion, Olympic champion in long jump. He's doing a lot of things right now from the media side. Well, you got a streaming service. You do some photography. You do some coaching.
Hey man, I'm just living my best life right now. I'm just joining all my passions and combining them together and just putting it in one big pot and just going with it, man.
Tell me what stood out to you about Lausanne tonight. This was the biggest audience I've seen since COVID. Really, this was the biggest one. Would you agree?
Number one, the crowd was amazing. The people are pretty knowledgeable here in Europe generally about the sport of track and field. So the crowd was amazing. And then secondly, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, come on now.
Wow.
I mean,
she's
been getting to her for the last few weeks. And she comes back and like, hey, I'm still Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce.
You seen the face when she crossed the line, it was like, yo, like, take this.
Yeah.
Yo.
That was fun.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, I think it was a lot of hype for Warholm coming into the competition.
Yo, he almost ran the same time.
He's gonna run 42 seconds, and it just shows you.
You know what I would?
He is a master at what he does. I mean, he doesn't really deviate that much from running a flat versus running the hurdles.
Yeah. I don't know who in their right mind thought he was about to run like 42, 43 seconds, man. He's a rhythm monster.
Man. And there's some huge Karsten fans.
Rhythm, whether it's hurdles there, whether it's we've seen him, whether it's 300 hurdles, 400 hurdles open, he's going to stay in that rhythm.
Yeah,
exactly. Seen it over and over.
What impresses me about his race is he's sprinting. He's sprinting that 4 hurdles. That's what's impressive to me. It's not the fact that if you look at Rye, first of all, Rye would annihilate him in open 4. But Rye has to adapt to a rhythm and actually conserve his energy and displace throughout the race. Karsten's not doing that, yo. He's sprinting the whole race. That's what's separating him, and you see that.
And Anthony, in my opinion, Warholm runs with so much grit and heart.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that definitely has to play a role in winning major championships. Rye's more talented.
Good point.
Warholm runs with grit.
Right.
He runs with everything he has. He doesn't leave anything left on the table.
Yeah.
And I feel that if Rye does that, when he does that, we're going to see something crazy.
Yeah, Warholm's too much of a dog. When I seen they was in the same semifinal, I was talking to the homies. I was like, ain't no way he's going to lose this semifinal to Benjamin. I don't care. He's going to come off that last hurdle sprinting in because he ain't about to let him lose. He ain't going to lose no matter what.
Yeah.
And Dave, to your point, and that tells you a lot about somebody that's a champion. Like, Rye could have won. He should have just pushed him because, Warholm sees in his head, I crossed the line in front of him. I'm going to give it to him in the finals.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. So it becomes a psychological game.
Right.
Never let somebody cross the line before you, no matter what.
That's the thing. When Rye, I think Rye was kind of doing some gamesmanship, feeling like, well, look, I'm ready to run 46 too. So let him do whatever he wants to do here. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Karsten, take your little semifinal. Okay. I know that's what he was thinking, yo. But Karsten is just, you're not beating me. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. You're not going to beat me here. You're not going to beat me in the final. It really doesn't matter.
And I think that situation between Rye and Warholm is going to be kind of the same as like Jeremy Warner and LaShawn Merritt. Way back where LaShawn just couldn't, beat Jeremy. And then once he did, he never lost to him again. I mean, he may have, but I mean at the majors and things like that. Yeah. And I think it'll be the same thing. Rye Benjamin's upside is I think Warholm's probably about tackle. Rye Benjamin can go so much better.
If you think about the stats, he's running 19. He ran 43.
Yeah.
He ran 10-0.
He ran 10 flat.
What does that mean?
What
does that mean in terms of
That's ridiculous.
What does that mean? The world record's 45.9. The dude ran 45.90. Who thought that?
Just like
I was there
in 2019 with Delilah, where Delilah got her and stuff. If Rye goes back and gets cleaned
that's
up,
a good point.
World Championships, maybe not this upcoming one, but the next World Championships and for sure the Olympic Games, Rye is going to break the world record.
That's a good
for
point.
sure.
That's a good point. So check this out.
Maybe in Eugene. Eugene is going to be.
The times are going to be crazy. Hayward Magic. The Hayward Magic, yo. The Hayward Magic.
Yeah.
Next year,
that's going to be crazy.
We're going to see some crazy stats. You don't know what other new shoe innovations are going to happen next year either, yo. And it's going to be on that Nike track.
Rye can make so much technical advances in his hurdle technique. It's not even crazy.
Yeah.
He cleans that up. It's going to be over.
Yeah.
Because his flight time is a little long, and he leads with the right leg as a 400 hurdle, which keeps you to the outside. So you got to be real clean, like Delilah, who goes with her right most of the time. You know, she's real clean and tight over the top. But Rye's kind of wide right now. Over like the first. Especially down the back stretch, his arms are always kind of wide. When he tightens that up and gets quicker over the top, it's going to be over.
Yeah. It's going to be over. Because Sydney obviously improved their hurdle technique, right? So they had her coming out running the 60 hurdles, then the 100 hurdles.
She got a new camp though.
She was learning how to hurdle with both legs. She was running with her off leg in the short hurdles. So I guess it transferred over.
She's such a beast, man.
I mean,
she's different. She's different.
It's crazy.
But you know what? Bowl is different too. She's a monster.
You're feeling bold.
I didn't realize she's like 6. She has to be 6 feet, half an inch, almost 6'1".
Oh, for real?
She's huge. I stood up next to her. I was like, yo.
I'm exactly the same height.
She's huge.
She's
tall.
Huge.
You're tall.
I
mean, like a giant.
Y'all miss it.
I'm standing 6'2". You know, in my shoes, I'm like 6'2", but with my shoes off, I'm 5'11".
You got them Air Forces?
Most of the time, I'm standing above 6 feet.
Yeah. Okay. It's a problem, but
Joey lost at the Olympics. Other than that, she was winning.
Yeah, well, at the Olympic trials, Otto was saying like, "Oh, America's gonna sweep the 400." I was like, "No, the hell, America's not sweeping." I was like, "Y'all, MK bowling." I see from indoors. I was like. And they're saying this girl's a 400 hurdler, and watching how she was running those indoor fours, I was like, oh, she's going to kill.
And Dave, check it out. She just started doing hurdles in 2019.
Really? I didn't know that. Wow.
Yes.
Were you in Tokyo?
Yes, I was there. Yeah.
Because you coach Chantal, right? Malone.
Yeah, I coached her, Daria Kushina, and Lorraine, but it didn't go as planned.
Dang,
I promise you that.
I was about to divert, but I need to know what you think about being in an Olympics. Compared to when you were at the Olympics, the whole COVID Olympics, like what was explain the huge differences that you noticed?
I mean, number one, you don't have any spectators. So that energy that the spectators give you, it kind of helps you transcend your performance a little bit better. I know at least it did for me, but I also feel that it doesn't matter if you have the world's best competing against each other. I mean, you could be on a concrete track, you can be on a basketball court. They're going to run fast. Right. So they delivered as we expected. But I mean, just being stuck in that bubble, that wasn't fun at all.
Were you in the village?
Yes, I was in the village as well. I mean, everybody had the mask on. I mean, it just wasn't like the 2 Olympics that I attended back in 2000 and 2004. It was just a lot. I mean, everybody was just pretty much to themselves, to the team. And I didn't feel like the energy was the same, but I could feel that sense of, camaraderie and all, but it just wasn't the same.
Yeah.
And also as athletes, there's that whole, well, as we all know, there's that whole like, do the stuff on the track and in the field, and then let's go and let our hair down, and like there was none of that happening. You're gonna enjoy it. You got to have that balance a little bit. There was none of that. And
then as soon as you finish, you had 48 hours. You had to leave.
Imagine that.
So,
imagine not staying for the after party and just vibing with the team on a level where you're not even focused on the events no more. You could just be around each other. Right. You know what I'm saying? Have some fun and get to know each other. Get loose. You know what I'm saying? But we would be remiss if we didn't ask you some long jump and field event questions. So. First off, before we get to Rojas, there's been a lot of questions about Rojas in the comments.
Jesus.
The final 3.
Get me started on her.
Let's talk about that, yo. How do we? I've seen the comments on Twitter. You know, saying you're not feeling it. We're not feeling it. Most jumpers aren't feeling it. Most athletes aren't feeling it. How can we eradicate it? Because you see what your boy come on, man, Olympic champion. I'm drawing a blank right now, yo.
Carl Lewis.
Nah, man, Olympic. right now.
The young man from Greece.
Nah, the dude.
It's Rivera.
Yeah, the Greek guy.
The Greek guy won.
In the triple jump. In the triple jump.
Oh,
PPP.
Picardo.
So you see that he's only doing one jump, and then he'll do the final 3 jump. So he's not doing all the jumps in the middle, which is kind of like
First
seemingly
round, last round.
like his protest to the final 3. This is stupid. So if you want to do this, I'm gonna do 2 jumps. Should everyone try to do that, or is there another way around trying to get people to get back to the?
Yeah, it's a way to circumvent it. I think the best way is just for the athletes. Everybody just pass their final attempt.
That would be the easiest thing. And
not do this?
And that way, it will force them. It will force them to have to change the program back to normal. Because what they're doing is they're taking that time, a slot for TV. So that'll be like there won't be a smart return on their investments for athletes continue to just skip that final round.
Why are athletes not doing that? That's the simplest thing. If they're complaining about
it's hard to turn down that check. It's hard to turn down that check.
Don't you get a check though? You just don't get that round mark, right? Everybody just walk down the runway, step on the board, and walk on off.
Yeah. Or just
all the shot putters just go up there and do a toe foul and walk on off.
Yeah.
Don't even throw the ball.
I'm so doing that. Like I don't understand why the athletes are not doing it.
The athletes have the control though. They don't
maybe
realize.
They don't care that much. Maybe the
no, it's a new generation.
It's your future. What you're not understanding is what these people coming in saying some stuff about the event. We are the event. So why are you letting some next man come in and say, nah, well, actually, I think we want this.
Jay, the problem I have is, okay, if you're going to do it at all these meets and not do it at the World Championships or the Olympic Games, like it just doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense whatsoever. Yeah. So I think that they just have to focus on presenting the program the exact same as they would a major championship. Otherwise, some guys, Tom, Dick, and Hank, they get in the boardroom and say, hey, we think this is a good idea. The athletes, they didn't, get any insight from the athletes. So now the athletes are just pissed off.
I haven't spoken to one athlete that likes it, but at this point, it's like it's a power thing now, to where it's like, we're not going to not do it because the athletes told us not to. The athletes are going to have to take this by force. This is just an example. If the athletes come together for something like this, then bureaucracy is going to know that the athletes are able to do that in the future, and they can't just put some bogus rules in that they just feel like doing. They're going to have to question some of the stuff that they're going to do, and athletes are going to have to come into play, because the athletes are going to come out of play.
Let them announcers explain why everybody's walking down and fouling in the javelin or in the triple or long jump or in the while they on that air time and nobody's competing.
Yeah. And then it becomes a story. Then they got to do something about it.
I don't see anybody doing anything. So it's like, well, maybe they don't care as much as they're saying that they
That's
care.
what I feel.
Dwight, talk to some jumpers. You still connected to some of the jumpers.
I talked to them and none of them agree with it. But I'm saying, like, y'all have to make that sacrifice.
Right.
Like, the people at the top have to make the sacrifice, so that it can benefit everyone. But, this little coin they're throwing at them, they feel that they need it to earn a living because they don't have the same opportunities they used to. David, when he came on the scene, he ran 50 races. Right. Now you can't even run. You can't even compete 6 to 7 times. If you're not in the top 10 in the world, you're not even coming to Europe, period.
Yeah. I see the same ones on TV every meet for the javelin or the women's triple jump or the men's long jump or women's long. It's the same people. Mm-hmm. I know Brittany Reese said that she was boycotting. I think I read that on Twitter or something. Mm-hmm. It's like, should it be better if she went over there and then took a stand with the other young ladies that's out there competing and stuff. The changes come from the big dogs, like you said, man.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. You see in MMA, they got the UFC, they got Bodog Sport, they used to have Pride. There's different organizations. Down the line, something like that in track and field, in order for, athletes to get what they want, some other organizations might have to come into play, what I'm saying? Because you don't have to change anything if you're the only place to go. So it's all these changes that we want with World Athletics, and why would they change? Where are you going to go? Where are you going to run? Just wait for the Olympics?
Right, yeah.
Fine, wait every 4 years, run the Olympics. We don't care. You know what I'm saying? So
and get paid. Where are you going to go and get paid?
Exactly. And I know athletes would jump on an opportunity to jump into another organization if it was organized, if there was money, if there was places to compete, if there was a vibe, there was a push behind it, if it was polished. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's why what Paul Doyle was doing this year with the ATL stuff, and you give that a few more years to kind of get rolling and get some more support and things. Like, it's a vast difference from what it was the first meet indoors to this last meet.
right.
You just got to get things a chance to.
Well, yeah, I like that.
But that.
He says a vast difference from what it was indoors.
But
it was.
They come back good though.
Yeah, it was.
That's what happens when you get support. You just build things. UFC didn't become UFC overnight.
You remember them early days of the
know?
UFC? Yo, they didn't have weight classes, yo. It was
Look, man, Paul got meets on ESPN prime time. We got to pay for Peacock and stuff to watch the Diamond League.
It's crazy.
You guys gotta pay for that?
Yeah. Peacock, you gotta pay.
Yeah.
Weird.
I pay for it because I like to watch.
It's like $5 a month or something.
Yeah, it's like $5, but
you can't expense that to Howard, yo. You can't expense that to Howard. This is going towards your your track knowledge, yo. It's helping your coaching, yo.
But you got to support it though.
Right.
You got to. You can't complain about athletes not having opportunities and all this stuff if you're not going to support.
I hear that. I had bought one of your streams, Dwight. Did you want to talk a little bit about what you got going on with that?
Well, man, with the live streaming, really the ultimate goal is to give athletes an opportunity to transition out of sports, because they don't really give Black people the opportunity to embark on that role in the media. Mm-hmm. And I just have to be real with it, because when I was at the World Championships and I was a photographer there, and I see the people who represent sport out here competing, then I see the people who are delivering the narrative, and it just doesn't seem like there's any balance there. Right. And I felt that it was something I always wanted to do. You know, I got my degree in the media space, and so I just did it. I just started it, and you know, we started off really shaky, but we're growing. We're building a good team of competent people, and I feel good about it. And we're just gonna continue to produce youth shows, and eventually we'll get to the bigger meets.
Yeah, big up the one name. Right?
Well, I've got a question. Whatnut, that's his Twitter handle name. He tweeted, he's like, I saw a tweet, he said, I think Dwight could still give us a 750 in the long jump. What do you think?
Yeah, what do you think about that?
What do you reckon?
750? Well, I tried to race some of my girls, and I can't beat them. I tried to run some reps with them, and I'm like, man, I'm fat. What? I mean, I'm 208 pounds. I'm just fat.
What were you when you were competing? What was your jump weight?
My heaviest was 189. My best was 170. I won the Olympics at 189. I jumped my furthest at 172.
Ooh, 189.
But I'm fat though. I'm really fat.
You're legit fat now.
I'm fat.
But so were you always one of those?
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm Otto Bowden fat or anything, or Maurice Green fat, but I'm more like it's developing down in the lower stomach area.
So you feel it when you jog and run and stuff like that. So if you
no, it's not that big yet.
It's not that big yet.
You feel it though.
You feel it though.
Like a silverback gorilla. If you look at a silverback gorilla, you can see like the stomach part is kind of hanging a little bit.
For real.
And the butt is kind of sticking out. I look like that.
Oh, serious?
Looking bad. I gotta run more.
Are you gonna let yourself get?
Oh, nah. You know, I still work out, man. Now I do weigh like 230, but I was competing at like 218.
Oh, for real?
I think it's just my natural weight. I was competing like 215, 218, but they have to be real strict on stuff. But I mean, that's probably my normal walking around weight was probably gonna be about 230 when I got done.
You still hurdle at all?
No, hell no.
Okay, so you don't hurdle. You ever put your spikes on?
Hurdle?
You ever put your spikes on?
Man, I ain't put spikes on my feet since the last time I went over some hurdles for real.
Right.
Some spikes.
And you never put no spikes on?
What?
Okay. Jade, that's what I was getting. Jade put spikes on, yo. She ain't joking around,
not
yo.
Recently.
Yeah, not in a few months. But that's recently to her.
Distance. I'm not gonna go. They're not sprints or jump spikes. I'll put on my little middle distance. I still like to.
I'll just wear some shoes then.
Yeah.
Look, I made it all these years with no surgeries, blew nothing out except the hamstrings and calves. No surgery. I'm not about to tempt fate You know, next I go over to some hurdle. Now you talking about I got a torn labrum,
you know what I'm saying?
Or some crazy stuff in my trail leg. Not happening. Not happening.
Yeah.
Not happening.
Yeah.
Hey, I run a mile about 3 times a week.
What?
Hard as I can.
That's big,
and
man.
it's torture. I mean,
I would never
hold
do
up,
that.
you're in shape.
torture, man.
No.
3 times a week?
I mean, I only ran like 6. I ran 6:40. That's not.
But you're doing it
much.
3 times a week though. Under 7 minutes is
Yeah.
cool. I used to do a mile every so often, and once I got under 7 minutes, I felt good about that.
See, now this is I don't
Yeah,
have that in me. Those genes
Nah.
to run. What are you talking about? A mile? Like that's never gonna happen. I will run a maximum of 300 meters. I like to do weights. I like to do plyos. I'll do that. I'm
Yeah.
not running a mile.
I'm strong.
But she's still
I'm pushing up 275 for 10s on the bench.
Okay.
Ooh.
I'm squatting.
Okay.
I'm doing all that, but
That's
it's
where
the
that
running
batty,
part.
that silverback
Okay.
batty's coming in then. No?
Yeah, that's where it's at.
Yeah, I don't lift what I used
Yeah.
to. I don't lift heavy like that, but I still play ball. I can still dunk and everything. Like I'm still,
Man, I haven't tried to dunk it forever. I ain't dunking because I'm not about to blow something out.
for
Jump
real.
up there.
I'm doing my
you
thing
come out
right now on the
Achilles
basketball
or-
court. I can't even lie.
David, I'm always thinking about like when I want to demo a drill. I think about doing it. I was like, hey,
Yeah.
I throw this drill. I'm always thinking about blowing something out because so many of my friends that are coaches, they
Mhm.
blow it out.
I wouldn't even hoop. Like, back in the day, you go and hoop and you wouldn't even think nothing about it. Now it's like, ooh, I'm not even kicking this ball because I didn't stretch properly, so I'll just toss it back, roll it back to the soccer team or whatever. I don't even want to boot this thing because I might pull my hamstring or something. I don't want to be hurt. That's why I stopped running.
It's crazy.
I wake up feeling fresh every day. No soreness, no injuries. I ain't got to go to no therapist. I'm straight.
I remember hearing sprinters and athletes from back in the day talking like this, and I just shake my head like, man, y'all just old. And now it's like,
man.
Now it's just what it is.
Like,
I never touched a track till I got with her. She's still doing repeat 150s and shit like that, yo.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
Nah.
Why would I do that, yo? Once I stopped competing, I was like, why do I even want to be on a track
feels
anymore?
good.
So we got to get you guys' thoughts on the whole Sha'Carri situation.
Look at that face.
So
It's like,
so
Well, shoot, to be quick, it's like anybody that thought she was going to beat those people, they was out of their mind because it just didn't make any sense. People in track, I don't think anybody that was really in track had thought that she was going to win Prefontaine.
okay, but let me say this though. Because of who she's become and her support system and what she has access to and the way she was talking, I was like, dang, she got something up her sleeve, yo. Like she got people around her that know what they're doing, know what they're talking about. And for her to be talking like
but those people were gone at the Olympics for like 3-4 weeks.
It was, but you know what it was? When I saw she was entered in the 2 as well, I was like, hold up, yo, she's in shape. You're going to do the 1 and the 2 in one day? I was like, nah, she's trying to.
Or maybe she just had to do that because she's a Nike athlete.
Probably.
It was Prefontaine.
Well, I know that now. The Jamaicans right now, I mean, you come off the Olympics, that's like maybe 9 extra races they got on her. Plus, you got the status now. You got to bounce in your step when you got that Olympic medal.
Hey, man, look, they are revved and ready to go, man. You ain't going to sit down for a month, not have any proper training. Well, I don't know what the coaching situation is, but I know the head coach is over there in the Olympics for a month or however long it was. And I think that you're going to beat these folks. I don't think so.
But I thought that they were going to come back and be tired, at least. And they're going too
Tired?
hard.
Who's tired?
But because,
Shoot, after the Olympics, man.
what?
You're
That's
not
what,
tired.
that's what I want to ask.
Well, the peak.
After the Olympics.
Did you see those
exhausted?
block starts? Did you see the block starts that Elaine did the day before she ran that 10-5?
No.
Yo, I was like, I had to check.
Right there
I was
told
looking at the
me
people in the
everything I
background.
needed to know.
Yeah, I was looking at the people in the background to see if it was fast forward or not, yo. But they were walking a normal pace.
Yeah.
Nah, she was
I knew
yo.
it was a done deal.
Well,
I mean, when she ran 21.5, she ran 21.5.
Yes.
21.5. When she ran that, I was like, nobody in the world, they don't stand a chance.
So let me
They just don't stand a chance.
Let me ask both of you before we go. So after the Olympics or World Champs, right? You won the world, David. You've won the world's Olympics, Dwight. After that, you were not like mentally tired. You weren't physically. You just were ready to go again.
Nah.
Like you're like, let's go.
Nah, I remember leaving from the games, and we went to Zurich. I think I don't know whichever one of those meets was right after the games. And it's like when you got off the plane, it just was like a weight was lifted off your shoulders, and it was just like fresh air. I was like, oh, and then I went out there and ran faster there.
Oh, so it was fun.
Olympics,
It was.
Wow.
It seemed like fun at that
Wish
point.
I was like that.
It seemed like fun.
Yeah, it was just the pressure is no pressure. You've done what you were gonna do. And it was just like a relief. And now you're just out there running relaxed. And you're not tired.
I wasn't emotionally drained until the last meet because maybe I went out, had a few libations,
some days
did a little too much. But other than that, no, it was about complete domination.
You can't come back from winning like Olympics, Worlds, whatever, and then start getting scraped up.
Well, it would have been a bad look.
You can give you a pass, but you know you can't give yourself a pass.
The ego's too big.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you're the champion, you gotta win afterwards. So to see how Elaine's gonna respond to what happened today is gonna be interesting because I think she expected to just kind of run into the sunset with the rest of these meets. I don't think she expected.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
You think she thought Shelly was gonna get her? I think she thought she had Shelly.
There's no way she would ever go to a meet and think like, I can take Shelly for granted.
No,
it's nothing.
No,
I think I think it was getting to that point. I think it was getting to that point because she was handing it to her every single time they were competing, as long as she's healthy.
See, you know what Shelly's capable of. When you have competitive respect,
right?
You'll never ever go to a meet and think that you can like. I think about myself. I lined up and it was Lou and Rose, all these people, Terrence Jamel, Allen, whatever. I knew it didn't matter what. I was like, I have to be like, if I don't do well, I'm going to get scraped up. Shelly can run as fast as Elaine. If Elaine ain't on point and is just a little bit slower than what she would be, Shelly could win.
It was cold out there today.
Was it?
It was cold out here tonight too. Oh, it was chilly.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, it probably was 58, 59. So, I mean,
that's freezing. Hold on, 58, 59?
Yeah, it was cold. Yeah, it was literally cold. And then Shelly-Ann, you got to think about yesterday at the press conference. She was just basically like, you know, she's closer to the world record than me, but she's a killer.
It's a different story when you go up there with Shelly and she's done everything that you've done. She probably got 1 million medals, won all these worlds, been doing this since 2008.
Yeah.
It has no drop off. You ain't never going to a meet thinking you're going to beat her. Like, the only thing that separates the people that make it and the ones that don't is the temperament. That's the only difference between anybody. Dwight and all those great jumpers that was doing 870 in that period with like Saladino and the Italian guy and some other dudes where it was always like a heavy competition. The winner of that was always going to be whoever had the best temperament.
Well, I think another thing that comes into play is the American aspect of it, because you guys got to be on all the time, right? Other countries have the luxury of building towards the championships. So when other countries, whether it's Great Britain or whether it's Canada, you get to the championships, once that's done, it's kind of like, well, we were building towards this, now it's done. That was the climax. You guys are at climax the entire time because you got to buck heads of trials, you got to buck heads on the circuit, you got to maintain your ranking like for your sponsorships and stuff like that. You got to hit certain times to keep a deal and stuff like that. So you guys are like always on it.
There is no level of comfort as an American.
Exactly.
Feel that.
And
exactly.
Also you guys have such depth. Like in this country, there's like, for me, for instance, there's no one. I think it's super important to have depth in your country so you never ever switch off. There's no off day. It's funny. I used to like when someone like effed with me. Like if someone messed with me, then it's all, I'm like, then that would switch my brain. But if everyone's nice and trying to, I just found it really difficult to get up in that way.
And Jay, today's athlete, everybody are friends.
That's the problem. So I saw your tweet. I saw your tweet about that.
Like David, I always see guys in the 100 meters sitting down having lunch at the Olympic.
That's so crazy.
In the village, they're having lunch together, talking. I'm like, I couldn't imagine Maurice Green and Michael Johnson just sitting down talking. Like,
different generation, man, but they still bringing it with the results, though.
They
so,
do.
I mean,
they do.
However you get it is how you get it. So, I mean, that was
just different.
We were friends, all the hurdlers, I was friends with them. I mean, I wouldn't say we was best friends, but I loved having a great training group. You know, you could be rivals, but, you know, I mean, you know, you could be competitors, but you just don't have to take that rivalry over the edge when the competition's over.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sha'Carri, the latest on that is the whole situation with Allison Felix on Jimmy Kimmel. And you know, Jimmy Kimmel asked Allison Felix a question about Sha'Carri and what's going on with her. And you know, her response, and because she was asked, she said that, you know, it's very important for us to support Sha'Carri.
Did you guys see what happened with what Sha'Carri responded? So she said, encouraging words on TV shows are just as real as, well, nothing at all. That was her. And then, but you know, the crazy thing is, like, now she messed with the Queen. Now,
I know, you're already messing with the Jamaicans. That's not good. you know, the Jamaican's gonna go hard. You know, she might not ever get to go vacation down there at this rate.
But apparently, her girlfriend is Jamaican, so
yeah, so we heard.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah, apparently.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. When they was just social media, I look at this stuff. Social media ain't real life.
Yeah,
So,
that's not confirmed yet.
All this stuff, probably to see her in the streets and be like, "Oh, can I have a picture? Can I have an autograph?" These same people that's talking about her on social media. So that shit ain't real life. So
when you're on the up and you have that support, it's all fine and dandy. But when you're falling down that slope and then the people who were supporting you, they're not supporting you anymore, you know, I think that's where the athletes, they fall short and they start having the mental stuff that they have to deal with. And that's where it gets really difficult. And that can take you to a dark space. Mm-hmm. She got to mature right now, or, I mean, she's going to fight an uphill battle.
Think about you at 21, Dwight. Think about you, David, at 21. Yeah. Like, and then think about you towards the end of your career. It's like and just as a person, forget being an athlete, just as an actual person, how you mature. So obviously she's going to be making mistakes, but she's like in full eyes. And obviously we've been speaking about this. It's a different world these young people are on with the whole social media and stuff, right? The
mistakes we made were not publicized unless somebody typed it on Facebook.
Exactly.
Nobody
was Facebook, yeah.
But she's around some people who've done it.
Yeah. MySpace.
But she's around people who've done it at the highest level.
Yeah.
You know, she's around it every day. I mean, she's around Gatlin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you know, he holds, you know, I'm sure he gives her insight on things that she should do, you know, because he comes with a tremendous amount of longevity and just experience. Now it's going to be up to the athlete themselves to whether they're going to listen to it or take that.
But you got to be able to receive it. Just like Jay said, like think about 21. What you were receiving as information at 21 probably processes different than if you receive that same info at 31 with your life experience.
Gatlin was like at one point one of the most hated people in track and field. Like he got all the hate. What I don't understand is what is the problem with someone being who they are? David, you've just spoke about how you were as an athlete and how you just think about this. That's who you are. Totally different than so many other people. Dwight, you're totally different. Anson's totally different. We're all different. This is who she is. Whether you like her or you don't like her, whether you like her personality or don't, who are you to really tell this girl how she should be or how she shouldn't be? What do you do? Does she know you? Do you do anything for her?
Nobody's got that.
Right.
This is my issue. This is my issue.
But you do have to take, if you're going to talk shit, you always have to back it up or be prepared for the criticism. That's why I never talk shit. I'm like, man, I don't want to go out here and get scraped up.
Criticism, but then there's some like nasty people.
I've heard a lot of people saying that, you know, she needs to have done something, but a lot of people forget she's 21, like she hasn't had time to do it yet. She's very confident, you know what I'm saying? But let me give y'all a scenario real quick. Say there's an athlete that you really look up to that's been in the game for a while that has never said a peep to you, not one word. Okay. Then, and you're an up and comer. A lot of people know that you're up and coming. You're dealing with a lot of media issues and trying to grow within the sport. This person's not said one word to you. Then you see them in some interview talking about how you need support. Say you actually looked up to this person and wanted them to say something to you. Maybe you tried to talk to them and they didn't really. And you see them go and say something like that. What kind of response would you have to that?
It's hard to say. Like with the Allison situation, I don't think she was prompted. I don't think she said anything crazy. She said to support her. I would love for people to say, hey, support him and what he's doing, all that stuff. It's like, okay, cool. At least I got, one of the best in my corner that's, offering some support. And we can always call, whatever, reach out. It ain't that hard to reach out to folks, but it ain't like she opted this up on her own. So, but I mean, like you said, we never know how people are going to react to things you say and how they're going to receive it. So, I mean, if she received it negatively, at least Allison would know going forward, like, hey, look, well, anytime somebody asks me about this young lady, I'm just going to say no.
Hey, Jay, I agree with you. Like, people shouldn't tell you how to act. But see, I've come from the hood where, 18 and 19-year-olds, they're in the trap selling dope. And you know what I'm saying? It's not the right thing to do. They get banged up and they act a fool. And then you say, hey, you can act any kind of way you want to. But no, there are some rules to the game. It's an unspoken rules to the game. If you're going to talk shit, that's okay. You can talk shit. But just know if your shit talking doesn't add up to what you're talking about, people gonna have some stuff to say.
But I don't have no problem with anyone having something to say.
That's what it is.
And I don't think she does. She cracks me up. Like I don't think she has any problem with people having something to say.
I don't think so either.
Yeah,
like,
she loves it.
She don't care, yo.
She
doesn't care.
She loves it. She's better than me. Because she's obviously going with it, and because I couldn't cope with all of that, like that much hate and that I'm not made for that, because I just want to just fight everyone or something. I don't know, right? But with her, she doesn't have a problem, I don't think, with if she doesn't do good, people coming and chatting. But my thing is, it's some of the people are just going too deep, like they're saying too like. Serious hate.
People are angry.
Like, why are you so
They're angry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's not anybody you know in real life. It's fake people on the internet.
Yeah.
I don't think she minds with the trolls, because she's liking comments that's like trolls are posting and doing.
She loves it.
Seriously, man.
But that's what makes
she
her
built for it, yo.
Hate is just in our sport. That's just part of it. I mean, I was at the World Championships in England, and everybody in the stadium was booing Gatlin when they called his name.
Yeah.
If you want to feel hate, that's what we call hate.
Yeah.
We're used to it. We built for it.
Yeah.
She's
real life hate. Those are real humans up in the stands doing it, booing. But when you're just carrying your bulletproof like that, it don't matter. That's why when Gab won, I was like hella happy for him
and he
for that.
handled that very well. That was impressive.
She's gonna do the same thing, because watch, she's gonna win. I don't know.
She's gonna come back.
She's gonna win
10-5s. She's gonna be crazy.
She's gonna win.
Yeah.
Because you watch her run, and you're like.
It's beautiful.
Wait till she's 25.
It's beautiful. It's the most beautiful thing I ever seen.
And
she's 25.
And
she's going to win.
It's the most beautiful thing I ever seen.
Elaine,
a man or female, I haven't seen anyone run with that type of mechanics. It's just
Elaine.
I mean, it's art.
Elaine.
Poetry in motion.
Elaine.
Elaine, she's hit it.
Elaine,
she's hit it.
To me, technically,
she's hit it.
Technically, she's very
ridiculous.
She's hit it, but still, it didn't look as clean as Sha'Carri. It still didn't look as clean.
Now that you mentioned it,
it was faster.
It just doesn't look as robotic. It just doesn't look as robotic when Sha'Carri does it.
Yes.
That's the only thing. That's the only knock I have on Elaine. She does everything right. It just looks a little stiff. That's the only thing. But Sha'Carri, when she's up, obviously she has to clean up the first 10, 20 meters.
Yeah.
But once she's up,
that comes with maturity, though. Sometimes
maturity,
greatest accelerators when they're not as strong at 20 years old as they're going to be at like 25 and become a better accelerator.
Well, this is what I'm saying. Elaine, at 21, she ran like 11:41.
Yeah, Elaine wasn't Elaine back in 2014.
This is what I'm saying. At 21 years old, Elaine ran 11:41. So what, like she had, but by the time she hit like 20, I think she was like 25 or 26 when she won her medal. And but you'll get another one, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, at 20 years old, she wins the Olympics in 2008. So it's like everyone.
Now at 35, she just ran 10:60.
It's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Looking at Richardson, it's hard for me to believe that. When she's 25 or something, that barring injuries and things like that,
it's going to be very
that she's not going to be winning a lot.
Yeah.
People keep on talking about this tweet she liked, right? About, I guess she liked some tweet about Jamaicans walking barefoot and
I never saw this. So
yeah, she liked a tweet that had something to do with having to walk barefoot to coconut trees for a living. She apparently liked.
She's just petty.
She liked
the tweet. Now everyone's calling her.
I didn't see that.
Everyone's saying she's xenophobic. Like she hates people from other countries because of.
But you guys just said that her girlfriend is from Jamaica and stuff. So I think she just likes.
But how thin? How
Mm-hmm.
thin has skin become these days? You know what I'm saying? Like I understand it was a liked tweet that may have offended some people. I understand that, but to say she hates people from Jamaica now because of that tweet it's like, and I don't, my parents are Jamaican, I wasn't born in Jamaica, and people might say, well, you're not Jamaican really, but to have a hint of offensiveness, I didn't really see anything from her liking the tweet. If you see what she's taking from people on a daily basis, for her to like a tweet and everyone be like, she liked the tweet, she's xenophobic. I'm
not saying that she is handling everything the way that she should or she shouldn't. That's what I'm saying. It's not about that. What she's doing, I'm sure she's making some mistakes. She will learn. She's 21 years old. My thing is, we've got grown ass adults talking to this young girl in a way like, chill out.